This week, we take a special look at the environment and how it can be more sustainable. And wheelchair users across the country are being encouraged to get involved in dance. And choristers take to the ice at Winchester Cathedral. But first, with the general election closing in, climate change seems to be a hot topic. The people are demanding a change, and in Winchester, a hustings was held for candidates to explain what actions they will take. Alex Smith reports.
I'm at the United Church in Winchester ahead of the December general election. We're here for climate hustings, where representatives from different parties will be discussing the best course of action with regards to climate change. Let's go see what they're talking about.
The eternally hot topic will be a prominent talking point ahead of this year's election, and hopeful Winchester candidates gathered at the United Church to discuss what actions they will take.
Who in this constituency will engage, will fight for us, for our children, for our jobs, our economy and our communities.
Candidates from the Labour Party, the Liberal Democrats and the Justice and Anti-Corruption Party took to the stage to answer set questions as well as questions from the audience. It seems no matter what, the people want action.
Extinction Rebellion is asking for three things: to tell the truth, to declare the climate emergency. A lot of them have actually declared a climate emergency, but that's the easy part, is actually putting some meat on those bones, if you like.
The Extinction Rebellion has gained traction in recent years as an environmental movement, and in Winchester it is no different.
What we should be doing in Winchester is doing our utmost to stop people driving, changing the local plan so that all new housing has to be better than zero carbon. In other words, it has to actually save carbon dioxide by, for example, having so many solar panels that it can go back into the grid.
Whichever way you cut it, climate change is hot on the minds of the people, and whoever wants to win the election will need to address these issues and take action. Alex Smith, Winchester News Online.
With 62% of eco-conscious consumers in the UK now believing eco-friendly products are better for their health, it's no surprise that eco-fairs and local green companies are on the rise. Selborne hosted a local fair last weekend, where we saw the push towards action on climate change. We sent our reporter Ellie Clout to see what it had to offer.
The shift towards a more planet-friendly world has never been more important, and events like these are a great way of raising awareness. This eco-fair lets you explore how simple changes can help the world as a whole become more environmentally friendly, a value that is very critical in our society today.
I think just little changes, like not wrapping your sandwiches in plastic and having reusable cups and not having reusable cutlery. It's not like big changes, it's just little things that make a difference probably.
From soaps to children's clothes and even glitter, the eco-fair showcased that almost all products can now be bought from businesses that are fully green. And many stall owners feel that now is the time for us all to make our efforts to try and prevent climate crisis.
Now is the time to start a journey that should have started a long time ago, that we need to help save this world.
That we've got to do as much as we can just to try and reduce our footprint, really, isn't it?
And the change is happening. People are interested. People want to find out what they can do to help, even in just a little way.
There is no perfect way to do this, but we all have to take responsibility for our own consumerist lifestyles.
We need to do something now. We can't wait. This has got to be done.
And with individuals' climate-conscious efforts rising, what are local councils doing to aid the climate change?
Well, we've declared our own climate emergency, and that's brilliant. And we're coming up with initiatives. We've got 2 climate panels, which I work on and liaise between.
Facing our biggest environmental challenge of our time, taking responsibility and changing our actions for future sustainability is as important as ever, even if it is just one soap at a time. Ellie Clout, Winchester News Online.
Now, from clothes swaps to vintage shops, the people of Winchester are thinking more about where their clothes are coming from. We join Olivia Fraser as she explores second-hand clothing options and the battle between new and old.
The average UK shopper wears just 70% of their wardrobe and throws away 70 kilograms of their clothes each year. To help combat this waste and fight against fast fashion, second-hand clothes sales are becoming more popular.
Shops selling vintage clothes are on trend, with more and more young people seeing the appeal of buying pre-loved clothes.
I wouldn't say purely based on the actual design of the clothes. I say more like recently people are starting to think about sustainability, because people think a lot about meat and petrol, diesel, all that kind of stuff, but no one actually thinks about the effects that clothes has on the planet.
Local clothes swaps events are another option people are choosing over buying first hand.
We're encouraging people to come in with clothes that they no longer wear, no longer want at home, that are lying around in their wardrobes or closets, but are perhaps too good to just throw away or recycle or even give to a charity shop. The sort of clothes that you would give as a present to a friend, maybe.
Local fashion enthusiast Constance Eyre brought the idea to Winchester to help bring a new purpose to old clothes.
Clothes have sort of lost their purpose. You know, there was a time when we had clothes for a purpose, and I'm not saying that, you know, you don't want to buy something because it's frivolous and fun and go to a party there. I'm not saying that, but I don't think you need to do it every time. Basically, I don't think you need to have something new every time you go out.
With the battle between fast fashion and sustainability growing fiercer, as people explore more environmentally friendly options, could it be that we see a decline in fashion giants and a move towards a more sustainable future? Olivia Fraser, Winchester News Online.
But what if you want brand new clothes but don't want to hurt the environment? National clothing brands are making a push to be more sustainable. Rebecca Bradley tells us more.
Companies such as Fatface are trying to encourage people to recycle from plastics to unwanted fabrics by informing the community about the changes in their industry. Tilly from Fatface shares her input.
Promoting recycling, because recycling is incredibly important. So if you've got like some old tatty rags that you don't need anymore, don't particularly want to throw them out because there's still bits of good fabric, we've got a bin that's called the ICO, and you just chuck it in there, and what it does is it goes back to our warehouse and it gets recycled, and we reuse as well, which is amazing. And yeah, it's been pretty good. People have responded pretty well. Everyone loves a free pack of seeds.
This effort for change can be seen all around the industry of fashion, but what do the people think about these changes?
Well, I think it's good because everybody needs to recycle something, so if they can use other materials to produce their things, it's better for our environment.
By all means, the best way for us to reduce the amount of waste that we're producing is actually recycling. That's absolutely essential.
I think it's really good. I feel that it's very important that we all contribute to save our planet, especially for the future of our children.
It is clear to see that the changes in the industry of fashion are a step forward for our planet. Rebecca Bradley, Winchester News Online.
Christmas is only weeks away, and environmental campaigners are urging people to take some simple changes to enjoy a greener Christmas. Charlie Bradshaw reports.
For most people, Christmas is a time of fun, food and festivities. But for environmentalists, it's a time of waste. Thousands of tons of food, plastic and packaging go to landfill every year. But despite this, campaigners believe with a few steps, it's possible for everyone to have a greener Christmas.
First of all, the really sustainable option is to have your own Christmas tree in your own back garden, which you dig up and bring into the house. I get that that's not an option for everybody by quite a long way. I find that quite a difficult thing to do. So the first thing is to look where your Christmas tree comes from. Importing Christmas trees is where the big carbon footprint comes. If we're going to see friends and family, it's really important. Maybe think about how we get there. Flying on average uses about 10 or 20 times the carbon footprint of going by train. That's a really easy way to cut down our carbon footprint at Christmas and still get to see the people that we love. And the big thing is waste. Let's not waste too much. I read that 74 million mince pies are wasted every year at Christmas. That is a lot of mince pies, and I love mince pies. So think about what you buy, how to cut it down, and buy less.
But what do students at Winchester think?
I don't think enough people are aware that Christmas is a bad time for the environment. I think that there is way more that can be done. Everyone can do so much more for the environment to do your part for it, basically.
In the past few years, my mum has actually become very aware of the impact of Christmas on the environment. So instead of using wrapping paper, which we can't recycle, she started using newspaper to wrap all of our presents, or brown paper. And this year she's decided to buy reusable sacks so that we never have to use wrapping paper again.
Liberate Dance is the only entirely wheelchair-based dance group in the world. Their goal is to boost confidence in wheelchair users and encourage them to get out of their comfort zones and dance. Our reporter, Katie Whittaker, went to find out more about this amazing group.
Define your movement. This is the motto of Liberate Dance, a wheelchair-based group
with a goal to bring together wheelchair users from far and wide through their love of dance. The group aims to empower its members and to celebrate the freedom a wheelchair can bring to those with a disability.
Oh, I was overcome with so much emotion that I finally found something for me to do. I like the fact that I can exercise, because I think a lot of us that are wheelchair users, we get down about our bodies or the way that we look because we look different to other people sometimes. So for me, it's being able to move, get some exercise in a really fun, safe environment, and it's just so inclusive as well.
Liberate Dance is entirely wheelchair based and is one of only a few classes of its kind in the country. For dance teacher Amanda, who is able-bodied herself, adapting to teaching in a chair was challenging, but definitely worth the reward.
Certainly the people who've come to our group have said it's been really nice that they can come to a group knowing that everybody's going to be in a wheelchair and that they're not going to be like the odd one out or different, because everybody's participating in the class in a wheelchair.
Members of the group hope that others will hear about them and maybe even get inspired to come down and get involved.
You don't have to be fully in a wheelchair to be able to appreciate the hardships of actually using a wheelchair. So I think that it would be good to expand it for people that have day chairs or maybe use a wheelchair once in a while when they have a flare-up or something, to show that just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can't be a bit, dancey and stuff.
Though the group has only been running for a month, it's clear to see the massive impact the group has had on its members.
You can see people are really settling into themselves and starting to get more comfortable with dancing, and I'm also really enjoying being a part of this little community that we've created.
Thank you, Katie. Now, locals in the Test Valley are fuming over plans to build a gigantic new incinerator. Sean Froen reports.
This is an artist's interpretation of the proposed waste-to-energy incinerator, which local residents are campaigning against. Wheelabrator claim little environmental impact, being quoted, "They're regulated under environmental permits issued by the Environment Agency to ensure we operate our facilities safely and that we will fully comply with strict environmental laws." But the campaigners are more concerned about the bigger picture. Keep Test Valley Beautiful are quoted to say that Wheelabrator say it's clean, but some, including the Soil Association, say that it is not green. The campaign started by Keep Test Valley Beautiful has received a tremendous amount of support from concerned residents.
Yeah, so actually from a community perspective, this has been actually really encouraging because the whole community is pulled together. We're getting emails and letters of support almost every hour at the moment.
As well as bringing the community together, it has also got the villagers concerned for the long-term impact the incinerator could cause and how it would affect their livelihoods.
Concerns of the environmental impacts, how it might damage our very vulnerable ecosystem. So we're really lucky to live in a village that has a chalk river, and that is vulnerable. It should be protected, and that could have a dramatic impact on it. My other concerns are obviously the air pollutants. I've got small children. I grew up here. My parents have been in the village for 48 years. I want to stay in our village, but I'm worried about my children.
On the Wheelabrator website, they claim that we will create an economic stimulus to the local community by creating hundreds of full-time jobs during our construction and approximately 50 new full-time jobs during operations.
A Winchester resident has patented a product that he says is worth billions. The creator aims to boost restaurant hygiene and expects his invention to fill kitchens across Europe. James Johnston reports.
So you just put your hands in, you peel it off, take it off like that, put it through the dishwasher and clean it up.
A Winchester inventor says his product is worth billions. Nick Davis is developing a cover for caster wheels used commonly in restaurant kitchens. And the entrepreneur says this could sell 94 billion units across the EU.
Everything nowadays is on caster wheels. In Winchester, for example, we've got nearly 500 commercial kitchens. So it's now 20,000 wheels just in Winchester alone that need to have a cover fitted on them.
The cover is designed to make it simpler to clean equipment, so it becomes easier to meet hygiene standards.
It's one of the most difficult things to keep clean because it's a very intricate piece of kit and it's constantly having stuff dripped all over it. And the obvious thing is a cover to put over it. Refit it around and your equipment becomes regulatory compliant.
With the cover, if the oil hits that, you take it off, whack it through the dishwasher, and it's supposed to save staff and employees time. The 94 billion figure is based on the number of caster wheels used in kitchens across Europe. But Nick believes sales could be even higher.
It's not just the catering market, there are other markets, hospital theatres, surgical facilities, clean rooms.
Winchester Council's health inspector sees potential in the product, but says that it will attract more big businesses than smaller ones.
Caster wheels are probably one of the forgotten areas. When I first saw it back in the day, yeah, you've actually got something here, and I'm surprised it hasn't taken off as quick, but it's just one of those things. It may take 5 years.
Nick is working to get his invention patented globally and has achieved this in the UK. The silicone cover is at its third prototype stage, and the creator says it's just a matter of getting a big name to manufacture it. James Johnston, Winchester News Online.
With the current economic situation in the UK, the cost of raising a child is increasing every year. Cara Simmons went along to an NCT charity sale to see how parents are tackling the issue.
According to the TUC, the cost of childcare has risen 4 times faster than wages since 2008. The UK's largest parent charity is holding a nearly new sale here at the Guildhall in Winchester.
I spoke to branch coordinator Ellen to find out more about the event.
So it's for the local community, and it's more like a service rather than a fundraiser. It allows people to empty their attics and new parents to gear up for a very, very interesting budget.
And as well as providing affordable clothes for new parents, the NCT are also proud to promote sustainable living.
It's just wonderful to be able to afford some nice items and save everything from going to landfill. Look at the toys that would have otherwise been thrown away. And children don't care about things being new, but I think they will care about the state of their planet in years to come.
As eager mums and dads lined up, I chatted to new mum Holly about how she tackles the cost of childcare.
Come to events like this and also selling at events like this. I'm hoping that the things that I sell are probably going to fund what I then purchase, so it's going to end up a day where I haven't actually spent anything, which would be quite nice.
And she may have her eye on a couple of items herself.
I've seen a walker and possibly a pushchair, so yeah, a couple of things.
With sales like these, parents in Winchester are finding that buying items for their children won't break the bank. Cara Simmons, Winchester News Online.
And finally, Winchester Choristers open the ice rink at the annual Christmas market. Imogen Sumner reports.
Winchester is famous for its Christmas market, annually opening the cathedral grounds to the public for stalls, food stands and festive fun. One of the biggest attractions is of course the ice rink, traditionally opened by choristers of Winchester Cathedral Choir. Choristers prepare for the event weeks in advance and is something everyone looks forward to.
Since the ice rink opened, actually, so I think about 14 years now, the choristers have always been involved, and it's a real highlight of their Christmas season. And tomorrow as well, they'll come and open the ice rink in a formal setting. So it's just a really lovely event for them to take part in on the run up to what is a really busy Christmas season for them. So first feet in the boots, first skates on the ice. It's really, really good. Yeah.
Whilst being the first to skate on the rink is special, the event also has other benefits.
Get some musical, it's quite good fun, and it's just a really good experience being the first ones on the ice. Yeah.
Imogen Sumner, Winchester News Online.
That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.